Hello YouTube and fellow Star Wars collectors. On this episode of Toys Are the Way, I will be sharing my top 25 most wanted all-new vintage collection figures and encouraging you to do the same as part of SWTVC's March Madness Top 25 submissions. The amazing team over at the SWTVC Instagram page is gathering top 25 lists from around the community. The information they gather will be used to build a TVC March Madness bracket, which all members of the community can participate in later. This is a fun way to see where the fans' priorities are when it comes to what we want to see in the vintage collection. Here you can see my bracket from last year with Paz Vizsla as my winner. He was a heavy contender, and it's awesome that we will finally be seeing a figure of him soon. Black Chrysanthemum was last year's community winner, and he proved to be a very popular character. He's rumored to be making his way into the vintage collection sometime soon, so that's also very cool to see. So if you're interested, comment down below on this video with a ranked list of your most wanted all-new vintage collection figures. You can select up to 25 choices. Remember that the SWTVC team will be using the results to build this year's SWTVC March Madness bracket, so choose wisely. And please follow these guidelines. Rank your choices in order, with the most wanted figure at number 1. Remember, the higher up you list them in importance, the more points they will receive, and that improves their chances of making it into the bracket. Be as specific as possible. For characters that wear multiple outfits, include details such as the movie, TV season, and/or planet where they appear. And rule number 3, probably the most important. Focus on newly tooled figures. They can be never-before-made characters or updates to existing figures, but be mindful of what already exists, and please do not include repack requests. I personally put a lot of thought into my character selection this year and based it off of figures that would need 100% new tooling, and that I believe cannot be leveraged from existing figures. For example, Grand Admiral Thrawn is not on my list this year because I believe the new Imperial Officer sculpt that Hasbro announced will give us the ability to get that figure into the line. I also wanted to focus on figures that would complete a crew, memorable scene, or interact well with other figures we already have. And lastly, rule number 4, 1 character per slot. Other than 2 packs of small characters, please do not put multiple characters on a single line. If you want the Bad Batch or Ghost crew, for example, list the characters individually. The only exception here is the Tonica sisters, who will be combined into 1 choice for the bracket, as was done in the past 2 years. Top 25 submissions started on Monday, and you have from now until 11:59 Pacific Time on Tuesday, January 31st to create and submit your lists. You can do so here in this video in the comments section, or one of the other participating sites such as banthaskull.com and the Vintage Collection Facebook group. Or you can create your own Instagram post and tag SWTVC, and be sure to use the hashtag SWTVC March Madness. If you don't have access to any of the above platforms, you can email your list to john@swtvc.net. And please remember to only submit in one location to avoid duplication and make compiling the data less chaotic. And lastly, be sure to spread the word. The more people who participate, the better the results will be. Last year, the team received over 400 lists covering over 1,000 different figures, and we'd love to get even more this time. Please note, this is just for fun and to see where the fans' priorities are with the vintage collection. This is not officially involved with Hasbro in any way, but they are aware of March Madness, and it's an excellent way to voice our opinions and what we want as a community. So I definitely encourage you to participate and let your top 25 be known, and remember, may the Force be with you. For my top 25, we will begin at the bottom of the list, starting with number 25, Young Princess Leia from the Kenobi series. We didn't get a whole lot of figures from this property in the vintage collection, and she is an essential world-building character. While we still don't have characters like the Grand Inquisitor or his fellow Jedi Hunters, I do believe those figures are more likely to make it into the line this year or in the near future. Leia seems less likely despite her prominence in nearly every scene of the series wearing this outfit. She would be a fantastic figure and help complete any Kenobi collection, therefore she had to be on my list. Moving on, at number 24, we have Dedra Meero from the Andor series. This ISB officer was one of my favorite new characters, and it would be awesome to get this figure into the vintage collection. The addition of a female officer sculpt would be a tremendous achievement for the line, and the tooling could allow for other female officers from shows such as The Mandalorian and Kenobi. Coming in at number 23, we have another figure from Andor, and it is Luthen. Getting brand new figures from new Star Wars media is very important to me, and it's a shame that we did not get this figure yet. He's an essential character from the show, and he would be able to interact with the version of Cassian Andor that we got where they first meet on Ferrix. Moving on, at number 22, we have Greedo. I have been wanting a 100% brand new figure of Greedo for quite some time. The older Saga Collection version is a decent figure, but does not meet the incredible standards of today's sculpting and articulation. Therefore, I would like to see a definitive version of this original 96 character added to the vintage collection. The tooling could possibly be leveraged to deliver other Rodians from across the entire Star Wars galaxy and different media. I would certainly get a few for customs. Coming in at number 21, we have Old Man Captain Rex from Rebels Season 4. Captain Rex is a fan favorite who not only deserves a definitive young clone version, but his later old man look as well. I think this would be a great figure to get into the line, and it would be a nice way to complete our Captain Rex collections. Moving on, we have another character from the Rebels series, number 20 on my top 25 list, Sabine Wren from Season 4. An awesome Mandalorian warrior who, like many other characters from the Rebels series, has a variety of different looks over the course of the 4 seasons. While it's confirmed that we will be seeing her appear in the Ahsoka series, there's no telling how her armor may look in live action. Therefore, I think it would be important to get started on the Rebels look as soon as possible. Coming in at number 19 on my list, we have Hera Syndulla from Rebels Season 4. Another fan-favorite character, this Twi'lek is a strong leader and amazing Rebel pilot. Her live-action debut is imminent, and it would be great to get this figure into the line. Moving on, at number 18, we have Dryden Voss from Solo. It's a shame how few characters we have gotten from this movie, despite some of the amazing character designs. It's really an enjoyable story, and it would be fantastic to get this Crimson Dawn villain into the vintage collection. And Dryden Voss would not be complete without my number 17 pick, Kira, sporting her Kessel Run look. Kira was one of my favorite characters from the movie, and it would be phenomenal to get a fully articulated figure of her sporting an amazing red soft goods cape. Next up on my list, we have number 16, Ezra Bridger from Rebels Season 4. I really enjoyed Ezra's story and character development during the Rebels series, and it would be great to see this Jedi apprentice make his way into our collections. Moving forward, with my love for Rebels, we have Zeb, also from Season 4. This Lasat would make such an awesome addition to the vintage collection, and I'm always in support of more aliens being added to the line. Additionally, I know the Rebels crew is likely to start showing up in live action, but I'm not sure if we'll see Zeb. I haven't heard any rumors, therefore this less than likely Rebels character ranks higher on my list of must-haves. And finishing off my Rebels characters, we have number 14, Kanan Jarrus, sporting his Season 4 look. Kanan is at the top of my list when it comes to the Rebels crew because he was an amazing Jedi Knight, and his sacrifice during the last season of Rebels means we will sadly not see this character in live action. Therefore, I have got to get this version of Kanan into my collection. Hopefully the tooling for all of these Rebels characters can be used to partially tool their looks from the remaining seasons of the show. Next up on my list, at number 13, we have Peli Motto from The Mandalorian, an exceptional character who would make a fine addition to our Mandalorian collections. I could envision this figure packed with pit droids, and it would be a fantastic addition to some of our Razor Crest displays, or even better yet, an N1 Starfighter release. Peli is definitely a must-have in my opinion. Moving on, at number 12, we have another essential Mandalorian character, and it is the Client. As Season 3 of The Mandalorian approaches, it is such a disappointment that we still do not have this Imperial added to our collections. He is 100% essential to finishing our Navarro Cantina playsets and displays. Coming in at number 11, we have everyone's favorite amphibian, Frog Lady, from The Mandalorian. A fan favorite and highly requested character in the vintage collection, this alien and everything about her just says Star Wars action figure. Her name is reminiscent of Kenner releases such as Walrus Man and Squidhead, and she is an essential piece of the puzzle in completing our Maldo Kreese deluxe displays. And for number 10 of my top 25 list, we have Bodhi Rook from Rogue One. This Imperial cargo pilot is one of the remaining figures needed to finish off the Rogue One crew. Additionally, the figure's tooling would be great for adding other Imperial cargo pilots to our displays. And carrying on, we have number 9, Baze Malvis, an essential character for finishing off the Rogue One crew. He is an absolute must-have. So much time has passed since Rogue One, and I don't want Hasbro to forget that we still need essential figures from this movie. This character would make an excellent addition to our Scarif battle displays, and I would love to finally add him to my collection. Next up, we have another fan favorite character, at number 8, Two Tubes, who recently made another appearance in the Andor series. This alien mercenary would make a wonderful addition to the alien lineup we currently have in the vintage collection. Additionally, the tooling could be used to get his brother into the line as well, doubling the amount of figures Hasbro could make from this investment. All in all, a win-win situation. Moving on, we have another must-have character from Rogue One, number 7, Saw Gerrera. My Rogue One interests have been ignited once again due to the Andor series, and Saw is a glaring omission from the Vintage Collection. Once again, hopefully some of the tooling could be used for his younger appearance during Andor, and really could add to our overall collections. This would be a fantastic release, and if we were able to get 2 tubes into the line as well, our Rogue One collections would be looking pretty awesome. Finishing off my Rogue One must-haves, we have number 6, Pow, from the Battle of Scarif. We currently have no Rebel soldiers with ball-jointed hips in the Vintage Collection, and Pow would not only be an exceptional alien to get into the line, but I think the tooling from the legs and upper arms could be used to get some Rebel Pathfinders from Scarif into the Vintage Collection. This would be a big win for me, and we could finally add some super articulated Rebels to our displays and dioramas. And at last, we have my top 5 most wanted new figures in the Vintage Collection, and coming in at number 5, we have Pong Krell from the Clone Wars. This Jedi Master who renounced the Order and became loyal to the Sith would make an excellent figure for our 501st Troopers to interact with. The 4-part Clone Wars episode Darkness on Umbara is a fan favorite, and I would love to add Pong Krell to my 501st display. Coming in at number 4, we have the Corvus Scout Guard from The Mandalorian. This army builder would be an exceptional addition to our Mandalorian collections, but would also finally add a foe for our Ahsoka Corvus figure to interact with. This is a must-have for our Mandalorian collections and is an essential world-building character. Next up, we have another army builder and my number 3 most wanted TVC figure, the Umbaran Warrior from the Clone Wars. Once again, the Darkness on Umbara story was an epic battle for the 501st Legion, and it would only be proper to finally add their opponent to the Vintage Collection. We have plenty of clone troopers from that episode, such as Captain Rex, 501st Troops, and ARC Trooper 5s, but we still need these Umbaran warriors to tell the story of the 501st. Moving on, we have another Clone Wars heavy hitter, number 2, Asajj Ventress. I would absolutely love to finally have this figure added to my Clone Wars collection, and with the level of articulation and detail we are seeing lately, I think there is no better time to get Ventress into the line. Additionally, we don't see many villains in the Vintage Collection, and Maul is the only one we have from the Clone Wars collection at the present moment. And at last, we have my number 1 most wanted brand new Vintage Collection figure, Count Dooku. A long overdue character in the Vintage Collection, but maybe it was for the best. The level of quality that is being delivered currently would allow for the perfect definitive Count Dooku. The possibility of this level of quality and delivering a figure on par with Dark Times Vader is what influenced me to rank Count Dooku at number 1 on my list. Additionally, he deserves to be on a vintage style card back, and after the Tales of the Jedi episode, The Sith Lord, I will absolutely need a retooled younger version of this character as well. So there you have it, my top 25 most wanted new Vintage Collection figures. I would absolutely love to see all of these characters make it into our collections one day. The quality of 100% newly tooled figures in the Vintage Collection has been truly impressive, and I want to see the number of new figures continue to grow and expand the tooling library. So be sure to list your top 25 most wanted new Vintage Collection figures in order down below, or head over to SWTVC's Instagram page and share your list there. Remember, you have from now until 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesday, January 31st to create and submit your list. And please remember to follow the ranking rules and only submit it in one location to avoid duplication. And be sure to check out the SWTVC podcast or YouTube channel as the team shares and goes over their individual list as well. And don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is always greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone, and may the Force be with you.